Well, good evening. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to Get Real with Rick Dancer. Actually, tonight's show is the Buck Stops Here, sponsored by Buck Sanitary Service. Scott and Lisa Weld own the company, and they're really good about just saying, Rick, you go find good stories, and we will help sponsor those. And tonight we have a great story. Back in 2008, I ran for Secretary of State here in Oregon, and I lost. And 2009, for about 6 months, was really, really rough because I didn't know what I was going to do. People always ask me, what's your plan B? And I said, I don't have a plan B because otherwise my plan A is not going to happen. And so I didn't make a plan B. And I'm so glad I didn't, because then plan B found me. But the first story out of the gate that I didn't know what I was doing, I had a little tiny video camera, and I heard about this group called RideAble. And they were down at a barn just a couple of blocks from my house out in Camp Creek. And RideAble is an organization that helps people with different abilities. People from all kinds of people who are on the spectrum, people who have back injuries, people who are partially paralyzed. And it helps them to adjust to life using horses. And so I went down to shoot this story, and I met a mom and her son, Megan and George Beverly, and put together this story. And then recently I saw George on a video on Facebook, and I went, oh my God, that's George. Oh, he's like a man. and he's really, really articulate and cool. So I have in the wings in the green room, George and Megan. But first, I want to set this up. I want to show you the story of George Beverly.
George Beverly, not your typical cowboy, but boy does he like to ride. His days on horseback started way back in March. That horse there changed his life.
George is almost 6 years old. He has classic autism, which means he had it since birth. After the very first lesson, I swear Monica taught him the difference between left and right, because he had a physical action to do with it. He understood it. He got the horse to do what he wanted, and he was so proud of himself.
Proud in a cowboy sort of way. George is in his element.
I mean, to be able to say something or do something and have the animal respond is huge. And he loves it. He talks about Chica, his horse, all week long.
Raising a child with a special ability is challenging and amazing, especially on days like this.
He is so capable. It doesn't seem like a disability. He just learns differently.
All right, country boy.
Say cheese.
George, you are funny. Has your definition of a disability changed?
Oh, definitely. There aren't any. It's not a disability, it's a special need that you need to make some adjustments for, but it's not a disability.
Julie Testy started riding with RideAble a year ago. Julie told her doctor she needed something for the pain. The horse changed everything.
I started riding the horse, and the pain level has dropped, like 10 being worse, 1 being nothing. It's dropped down to a 2.
And Julie's balance is better. It's hard to say why this relationship between these folks and these horses works.
Okay.
What's the magic?
The horses. It's the relationship with the horses. It's that mystery relationship. Why are the horses important? Why does it work? I don't know why it works. I just know it does.
Doesn't really matter why. Not to George, who's back at the hitching post. Ride's over for today. But this little cowboy knows he'll be back, because he's a country boy.
That is George today. Oh my God, George! So you are now how old, buddy?
Now I'm 17.
Oh my God, you're a good-looking kid.
Yeah, thank you.
So, George, what do you remember about any of that? And tell the truth. I mean, if you don't remember, that's fine, but just kind of what do you remember?
What I remember is that when I got on the horse for the first time, it changed. It kind of changed my life.
How did it change your life?
That I basically understand how to take care of my animal and tell him what to do.
So when did you actually, because you only said, and back then you were only saying a couple of words.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you start actually vocalizing more, and how did that happen?
And when I was on my horse and walked up, and I said, "Hey, cheese."
When did you start talking more?
When did you start talking more?
And I started talking more between first grade and second grade.
Okay. So tell people what you're doing now with track, because you do a lot of different sports, don't you?
Yeah. We basically do some different sporting events, such as running events and field events.
What's your specialty?
And my specialty is running with teammates and doing some distance.
So what are you good at school? Because you're super smart, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like really smart. So tell people what we had a little pre-conference, guys. So I know a whole bunch about George already. So tell people what you like, what classes and stuff like that you like. Okay.
All right. What classes? The classes I like to go try to do some robotics and some science fiction that I'm currently doing.
And you're good at math, right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm also good at math.
Am I making you nervous, George?
A little, but that's okay.
Okay, take a deep breath. You're fine. Okay. All right. So, George, tell me, what does the word courage mean for you?
Courage means where it comes from the inside of our hearts. It makes you learn how to try new things and overcome challenges.
So do you have to overcome a lot of challenges, George?
Yeah, I have to overcome many challenges that I face.
What kind of challenges could you tell me about that? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, some of these challenges like let's say that I'm doing a quiz and there's some hard problems, and I decided to challenge myself to solve these hard problems. But because I'm doing it, I'm giving my brain the exercise it needs to get stronger, which makes me smarter.
So what's the key to doing that, George? How do you know? I mean, is it just you just keep trying, or what do you know that I don't know, my friend?
It's just that I just keep trying.
So you don't give up.
Yeah, I don't give up. I just keep trying and trying.
So Megan, what's the magic here? What?
The magic is him. I mean, he's just in the last few years bloomed. Just all of a sudden open to trying new things. Even like you said, even if they're hard. When he first signed up for track, he literally came home from school and said, "Oh, I signed up for track." We had not done sports. I mean, we're not sports family, but he just signed up, and I was like, okay. And prior to that, he was the type of kid, which is very common with autism, that couldn't take turns, couldn't handle losing. And so I was really scared when he started track, but for whatever reason, he just understood his role and he just went for it, and he's gotten better every year. And doesn't matter what he places, he keeps track of his own times and knows that he's kind of competing against himself. He's just awesome.
George, people are coming on here. I don't know if you can see the comments, but Joanne just said you're awesome. Other people are saying, "Oh my God, you're so awesome."
Yeah,
George, I think we need you.
Yeah, Yeah, it looks like everybody needs me because they think I'm an awesome kid.
You really are, aren't you?
Hmm.
So what do you love about your mom?
What I love about my mom is that she always. What do you like?
What is your answer? Not mine.
Well, what I love about my mom that she always takes care of me by like what I like about my mom is that she's always helpful and also she always likes to take care of things.
Does your mom
On schedule.
does your mom let you just be George?
Yeah.
We like who you are, right?
Yeah.
George is awesome.
Because Megan, you have always been like that. I mean, from the video, I think people that saw the video would know what was that? I mean, would you ever dream that he would be this man here today when he was that little boy that we were together with back there?
No, it's fun. I teared up while I was watching that because I remember that stage where he had a few words. You saw a couple of them on the video, but that was kind of it. And they weren't always used the right way. RideAble was one of the few places where they were often used the right way. But, at school, he was one of the kids that was known for his screaming and didn't have a lot of friends. We always hoped, but we didn't know what the future was going to bring. We were always going to push him as far as he was willing to be pushed, and we were going to celebrate whatever he could do. But this person who he's turning out to be, I could not have envisioned this. And it's just awesome. It's so much fun. Our family laughs every day. He's got a great sense of humor, and he's just fun to be around and to see what he's doing.
How does that make you feel, George?
Makes me feel like I'm definitely a great supportive person. And it's simply because over the years I change a lot. Like my attitude changes, and the way I'm doing now.
So, George, are you afraid of change?
When I was little, I used to be a little bit scared of changes, but now I'm not scared of changes anymore because I'm getting pretty used to them.
So, okay, and this isn't for you, this is for my audience. So how do people, because I think a lot of people are afraid of change. And so how do you're super smart. How can you tell me how I could better be open to change? How could we do that?
Yeah, we just basically had to figure out, and we have to understand what's going to happen, and had to be aware of these changes, and think about what's going to happen when it's going from one thing to another.
Because right now, the new thing that you and your mom and your family are working on with you is you're like trying. You are like the change king.
Mm-hmm.
Tell people what you're kind of doing, and Megan, if you want to pipe in, the two of you can talk about this. But you kind of have a goal this year, what you're doing, huh?
Well, and let me be real clear. This is a goal led by him. This was not like a family project. This was George coming to us and saying he wanted to try new things. So what else? Some of the things we've done. You've done some cooking.
Yeah, we've done some cooking.
Yeah, you've cooked a lot of meals, and we go places and we roll with schedule changes with no big deal. What else do we do?
Let's see. We basically go to some different places.
Yeah, it's been a little challenging this year because of COVID, but that's been part of the trying new things, is just being okay with making decisions and staying home and finding things to do here.
So, George, what do you want to do when you get older? Like when you're an adult, because you're still a kid to me and your mom.
Now, what I'm gonna do when I'm an adult, I I will learn. I will learn how to drive.
Want to do as a job?
As a job, I like to.
What did you tell Mr. Dancer earlier?
Yeah, I will learn. I'll be a school teacher.
Why do you want to be a school teacher?
Because it's just because it just basically inspires me. Like I like to teach kids something new and something that they haven't seen before.
Is that what you like?
Yeah, because I just like to show some students some new things.
Do you like to learn new things too?
Yeah, and I like to learn some new things too.
George, you kind of remind me of like a sponge. Like, you know what I mean?
Take it all in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take it all in.
And you know what's fun to talk with you is like, I bet you in 5 years, you're going to be just like at this. Don't you know what I'm talking about, Megan? It's like there's this. You can see the pubescent teenager here, but on the inside there's this person. And when you, George, when you pop out and you start talking like that, it's profound. I want to learn from you because I think you understand something. What do you understand about life? I could pick your brain for hours. I think you see the world differently, don't you? Do you think you see it differently?
Yeah, we sometimes see it differently. Depends on what they are.
Do you think you see the world differently from the rest of us? Do you have your own view?
Yeah.
And tell people what you're working on with your mom. That you guys had also talked about. You're kind of a people pleaser, which is a good thing because you're kind. But what are you working on?
We worked on. So what did we work on?
So George really likes to have the right answer and be a people pleaser, and we're working on having our own opinions be okay, and even if it's not what everybody else is saying. George is very hesitant to say something different from what maybe the crowd is saying, or even just the one-on-one person. Even if it's me, he wants to say the right thing, and we're really working hard on him being his own person and having his own opinions and that being okay.
Oh, George, you should hang around me for a while.
I don't know about that.
I'll get you in big trouble. George, you should, you just think for yourself because you have such a strong backing and foundation in your life. You know, and if you hide the things that you know inside, we may never get better. I mean, sometimes I think people on the spectrum are just that you have a different perspective on things, and we need you. I mean, especially right now, we need people like yourself to show us how to mix kindness and intelligence and all that together. That's a purpose, man.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you want to teach kids, have you had some pretty darn good teachers, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
And they were patient with you?
Mm-hmm.
What happens when people don't understand you? What does that feel like for you?
They'll feel like I don't know what's going on. Somebody need help, kind of thing. If they see me like, oh George, we want to know what's happening. George, we want to know what we're gonna do from you.
And do you tell them? You tell them?
Yeah, I would tell them.
So what is it what does it mean to have friends?
It means to have friends that I would basically just make some new friends by introducing them, by saying your names first, and you ask them what their name is, and you'll just basically get to know them.
That is, you know what? I think that's what people could do a lot more of. How simple was that? Ask their name and then get to know them. And then you can have conversations. George, you are just one smart man. Okay, so tell people your favorite kind of music is old rock and roll. So who's your favorite group?
One of my favorite groups is Queen, and one of the songs from them is Don't Stop Me Now.
Oh, I remember that. Is that your theme song?
Yeah.
We hear it a lot.
Yeah, we hear that song like a lot.
So you play it a lot or you sing it?
Yeah, we do both.
God, would that be mean if I ask you to sing it?
Please don't. Please don't.
Because then, George, you know what? We'll go have a pop sometime, and you and I will sit out on the street corner and we'll sing Queen songs. People
When he's old enough for karaoke, I'll send him to you.
There you go. I can take you out there. So, Megan, what's the good news for parents of everyone? What's the good news for our kids?
Honestly, just that you don't know what's next, and it's always going to be exciting and different from what you expect. And gosh, it's just, I don't know. I'm just always, every year seems to bring surprises and amazement. And I can't wait for the next step every single time. You know, you think you want to keep your kids so little, but this is really cool. And I'm so excited to see where he goes because we just have no idea.
And don't put them in a box.
Oh gosh, no.
How did you learn that? Because you've never, is that just you? I mean, because I think I was always, when I see that picture of you and how you treated, it brings back memories of me going back to my wife because her brother has CP and that kind of thing. But it made me go back, and I remember that impressed me so much because you didn't let it stop you from being just normal to him. And
he's my kid.
Yeah, but a lot of people aren't able to do that, and you did it really well. Somebody says, "Thanks for giving us hope." We have, this is Zach. He's a friend of mine. They have a 5-year-old who's on the spectrum as well. Yep. Zach. So Zach, remember what you're seeing here, okay? Because there's more than hope. I mean, it's a blessing, and I wish we could start looking at it like that. You know what I mean?
We've always, from the very beginning, even before diagnosis, but when it was very obvious that things were different, we've just always, both our kids are treated the same. The expectations are basically the same. I mean, expectations day to day are basically the same. It's just, why would you treat one differently? You just, obviously, you make your home fit. We had a fairly structured home when he needed that when he was younger. But we made it structured for everybody. It wasn't something special for him, and it wasn't different for him. Anything that he wanted to try, either of my kids, anything they wanted to try, we tried. And I don't know. I think that's just who we are. We want whatever they want to achieve. We want that for them, and we're going to do what we can. I don't see a reason to put it in the box, because if you put him in a box, you put all of us in a box.
Right.
And that's not a life.
Zach says we treat all of our kids the same and get a hard time from some teachers for that.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's awful.
Yeah. Do what you do, Zach. You do what you feel is the right thing to do. Megan, oh my gosh, that was so awesome. I got little tears in my eyes, George, and it's good. They're good tears because I'm so happy that you're turning out to be way more than I ever thought was possible. And
give him a few more years, you can interview him at his job.
Oh my God! A few more years, he'll have his own podcast, and I'll be sitting here watching you, learning from you. So that's awesome. So Megan and George, Beverly, it was just a pleasure to have you on the show, and thank you so much. And Zach says again, George, you're awesome and inspiring. You made my day. You're giving hope, George. You're giving hope. You're giving hope. All right.
I always give hope.
You do, don't you?
He's very modest too.
Well, yeah, but you know what? That's what I love about George and people like George, because they do. Do you want people to sit around and tell you what you want to hear, or do you want to hear the truth?
I want to hear the truth.
How important, George, is the truth?
Is amazing.
Is it the most important thing?
Yeah, the most important thing.
Yes.
There's this great line, and it says, the truth will set you free. And I think today, George, and probably for always, your life will set people free because you are the truth. You are the truth. And we all need to look at that.
Thank you.
All right, buddy?
Right.
All right. Good to see you.
Thanks, Rick.
Megan, thank you. It's good to see you too. I'll see you later. So how was that? Wow. That's what we needed. You know, I love when I'm wrong. I love when, see, and I think that's the thing that you have to learn from someone like George is, God, you guys, we're giving up too easy. You have to have the courage to do things when the whole world tells you you can't. You have to have the courage to say, I can. And when everybody's pooping on you, you have to stand up and say, no, this isn't how it is. And like George is learning now, he's trying to learn, and we should all be doing the exact same thing. What do you think? Not what does the culture think, or what does everybody around me think, or what's going to get me the most votes or the most friends or people liking me or being nice to me. No. What do you think? There's a 17-year-old young man who's been through more struggles than probably most of us to get to the courage to where he is today. And he's learning to think for himself. Don't you think the rest of us could probably do the same thing? I think what that shows me is so much. We have no idea what's possible. We look at something, we box it up, we label it, and we push it off. But when you nurture it and you let it breathe and you water it and you love it, amazing things will happen. God, I wish I could do shows like this every night. George, here's to you, buddy. You're awesome. All right, you guys, tomorrow night, we're going to Oregon Axe. You know, the people that have the axes and they throw them. Dr. Bratlin's taking us there. Oh, we want to thank Buck Sanitary Service because we can't do this kind of stuff without him. And then on Wednesday, we're with NAMI. They're an organization that works with people with mental illnesses and mental disabilities. And they're having a walk this weekend. But New Leaf Hyperbarics is going to talk with us about how their treatment can help people, but also help sponsor that show as well. And then on Thursday, we're going to revisit the Thurston High School shooting. It was 1998 on May the 21st. We're going to do that on the 20th. All we're going to do is I'm going to air a show, a kind of a compilation we did at KZI of that. And I was going to bring some people on from there, but quite honestly, people are just tired. And so we're just going to talk about that and remember it, because I think it's really important to remember so it doesn't happen again. So that's your week ahead. And share this on your page. Let other people know that it's okay to be you. It's okay to be different. It's okay to not fit in. And that nobody can take away your courage. The only thing that can take away your courage is your cowardice. Have a good night.